7-run sixth-inning last night. Dusty Baker's Reds have won 4 in a row and 10 of their last 12. Tonight, they look to complete a 2-game series sweep for the Cubbies. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Ohio. Well, it is a very cold, rainy night in downtown Cincinnati. The finale of this very brief 2-game series between Central Division rivals. The Reds coming away winners in the opening game last night, again taking on the Chicago Cubs. And we are going to start this game in a very light drizzle, much like we did on Sunday when the Cardinals were in town. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Cowboy. Jeff Brantley, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. One of the real marks of the Reds a year ago when they won the Central Division title was how well outside of the Cardinals they played inside their division. And, Jeff, here we are a year later, and they're up to the same old tricks.
Well, they are, and I think this is a club that now you go into the 2011 season, you know what it takes to get to the postseason. And I think this club is really starting to overcome some hurdles that slowed them up last year. And a lot of that had to do with playing against the Cardinals. Now they're beating the number 1s and the number 2s of the Pirates and the Astros and the Cubs.
Of course, we'll see the Pirates for a 2-game set beginning tomorrow night, but first things first. Another start for Edinson Volquez. Is this the one he turns it around?
It really needs to be, Tom, and this all goes back to just Edinson Volquez. There's only so much as a coach or as a manager that you can throw out for one individual. It is time for Volquez to take it like he did in Texas and put it together.
His mound opponent tonight pitched very well against the Reds in Chicago. That's Matt Garza. He came over from Tampa Bay. This guy's a good pitcher.
He throws a lot of strikes and a lot of strikeouts.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the man who's been money, especially over the weekend. He's back in there tonight, Ramon Hernandez.
Look for some scattered showers down at the ballpark tonight. 52, down to 50, down to 48. Time to hit one.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's keep it dry tonight. How about Ramon Hernandez?
It's amazing what he is able to pull off so far this year, but what's even more amazing is the fact that he's got a 10-game hitting streak overall, a 10-game hitting streak in this ballpark, and this year he's hitting .489 here at Great American Ballpark.
That's almost 500. You gotta be kidding me. He's smoking.
And he's in there tonight with his buddy Edinson Volquez on the mound. All eyes zeroed in on the Reds' opening day starter. Can he turn it around? We'll find out. State Farm. State Farm agents are there when you need them. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. By your local Ford dealer, Ford Drive One. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Well, weather-wise, this miserable spring continues throughout the entire heartland of America. I mean, you talk to the Cubs, and really, this is the kind of day they have had almost every day. We at least got a break last week with a lot of sunshine, warmer temperatures. They have been right in the high 40s, low 50s, all of April and all of May.
Almost as you would call a good horse. You got to sometimes be a mutter.
And we'll start in a very light rain here tonight. Let's take a look at Mike Quaddy's starting lineup. Again, Kosuke Fukudome in right, Darwin Barney at second, Starlin Castro, the shortstop, bats third. Aramis Ramirez at third base, Carlos Pena at first, Marlon Byrd in center. For the latter third of Alfonso Soriano, Wellington Castillo behind the plate. And Matt Garza, 3-1 right-hander Edinson Volquez starts it for the Reds.
Well, tonight they have moved Carlos Pena up a little bit in their lineup, as well as he's hit against the Cincinnati Reds here in 2011. And you would like to hope that some of the positive vibes that are going on with the catcher Ramon Hernandez will tend to rub off on the guy that's on the mound at Edinson Volquez. I really believe that it's going to take one of those guys that are out there on the field of play to make something click for Volquez sooner or later. There's no doubt that he has the stuff, that he has the ability. It's just a matter of him getting it done himself and not putting this team behind the 8 ball every time he takes the baseball.
And that literally is every single time. You see, start by start, all 8 of them he has made this year. The Reds have trailed in the game very early in most cases.
And that's how this club got into a hitting slump earlier in the season, is because the starting pitching was having a difficult time in the first inning. And not only did it affect Volquez, but it started to rub off on everybody else. You can't have that.
But of course it has now turned the other way, and Volquez is trying to become the really final piece to fall right in line. This Reds starting pitching has been absolutely spectacular for the better part of 2.5 weeks.
And maybe that's the thing he needs, Tom. Maybe he needs a little bit of that pressure relieved from him being the opening day guy.
All right, here we go. Kosuke Fukudome digging in. Volquez the line in the pitch, and that is ball 1, and we are underway. John Hirschbeck calls the balls and strikes. Laz Diaz at first, got Barry at second, Sam Holbrook at third. The Reds come in 7 games over 500. That's the most games they've been over the 500 mark so far this year. The Cubs come in at 5 games under 500. Weak fly ball into short left center field. Stubbs there. Fukudome retired to begin the game. Let's take a look at the Reds defensively behind Edinson Volquez, presented by Ford. Fred Lewis gets a nod in left field. Stubbs in center. Jay Bruce in right. Paul Yanish back in there at shortstop. And we mentioned Ramon Hernandez hanging the signs for Edinson Volquez.
Well, you almost don't want to miss it when the Reds are on the defensive side because of all the spectacular plays they make. Yeah, you want to see them hit, but heck, don't miss it on the defensive side either.
A real good night here last night for the rookie Darwin Barney. His first 4 plate appearances, he reached base, a walk, 3 hits, knocked in a run. Francisco Cordero got him on a ground ball to end the game. Barney, born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and we told you last night played on back-to-back College World Series championship teams at Oregon State. Breaking ball is in, 2-1. Doesn't matter whether he's a rookie or not. Barney only behind Matt Holliday among all National League leaders in batting average. Joey Votto checks in, of course, at third. A tie for second, actually.
There's no doubt that this kid can hit. The big test will come as he goes around the second and third time through the league as the pitchers make their adjustments.
There's a hanger that's banged into left field. That'll be a base hit. Barney making a hard turn, and he will slam on the brakes as Fred Lewis got to that ball quickly and fired back into the shortstop, Paul Yanish.
Almost the same type of swing we saw him take last night off of a pitch from Sam LeCure, a pitch hanging high in the strike zone, and a tomahawk type swing, if you will.
We documented thoroughly in the game here last night. As far as a team batting average is concerned, the Cubs are among the top hitting teams in all of baseball. Their problems have come once guys get on base. As a team, they're batting .232 with runners in scoring position. And there's ball 1 to Starlin Castro.
I mean, their second and third hole hitters are in the top 10 in the National League in batting average. Castro and Darwin Barney, who you were just talking about, they have a tough time getting these guys in once they're on.
They have batted 46 points lower with runners in scoring position in their overall team batting average. And really, Castro is a microcosm of the entire team. He has gotten much better here of late. He had a nice hot streak on their just completed homestand of batting with runners in scoring position after starting the year woefully. But you look around their regular players, and man, have they struggled in these situations, especially the guys they're counting on to knock in big runs.
And the longer that streak goes on, the more it becomes magnified, and the albatross continues to grow.
One out, one on, just underway here at Great American Ballpark. The 2-1 to Castro with Barney at first. And it's taken down low, ball 3. Volquez has walked 33 batters in 42 in the third innings. The league is only batting .242 against him. Hit down the right field line towards the corner and bending foul and out of play.
And some would say, well, Volquez is just not that good of a pitcher. He just hasn't gotten it back. Well, I disagree with that, for the simple fact that he has as many strikeouts as he has innings pitched. And that's usually a telltale sign of whether a guy has quality stuff or not. He strikes out a lot of batters.
3-2 to Castro. You figure Barney will be running with a pitch. That he is, and it's taken down low, ball 4. Doesn't matter the play at second base. The runner is safe because of the walk to Castro. Oh, wait a minute, they appealed, and just now Joey Votto was the one who said ask the first base umpire Laz Diaz. They did, and Diaz just threw up the "you're out of there" sign. Well, alertly done by Joey Votto.
That's a great heads-up play there by Joey Votto. He's standing basically in the same line as first base umpire Laz Diaz. And if he doesn't ask for a check on this check swing here, then nobody knows. Home plate umpire is looking at the batter. He didn't give it to him.
Our performance Honda Expo camera looked like he went through the strike zone.
That's
so
pretty fortunate.
Yeah, runner in scoring position for Ramos Ramirez. Strike 1. That is only the 8th stolen base by the Cubs as a team in this their 40th game of the year. 8 of them.
And they almost got him on the as he slid past the bag when he was coming back.
And 1 to Aramis Ramirez, 287 batter with a home run and 15 driven in, and that pitch hit him.
Here's the steal or the run on the 3-2 pitch, the check swing, and still an awfully good throw there by Ramon Hernandez, and that's a heck of a slide getting around that throw. He slid well outside of the bag to avert the tag. Especially with Hernandez, the fact that he's thrown out 40% of runners trying to steal against him.
So here in the inning, Volquez has faced 4 batters. He's allowed a hit and hit a batter, got 2 outs. And now the first baseman, Carlos Pena, 219 batter. Clubbed his 4th home run of the year here last night. It came with a man aboard in the 6th inning. Half of his 4 home runs he's hit against Reds pitching, and he's maybe hit another one. He's definitely hit another one.
Every single home run that he has hit against the Reds has come on a first pitch fastball right in the heart of the plate. And the Reds are now behind for the 9th consecutive time that Volquez has taken the mound. Fastball right down Broadway. That's what home run hitters do.
Well, you wonder how many times they're going to throw him first pitch fastballs. Guy's got 2 home runs against everybody else. He's got 3 against the Reds.
Well, as soon as he hit the home run against Cordero to tie the game that in the 9th inning in Wrigley, that ought to tell you right there, don't throw him another one of those. And we've done it twice since.
Marlon Byrd gone swinging, but first inning damage done again to Edinson Volquez. 3-0 Chicago. Cold, rainy night in Cincinnati, and here's Dusty Baker's starting lineup tonight. It'll be Drew Stubbs in center, Paul Giannis at short, Joey Votto at first, Brandon Phillips in a cleanup spot, Jay Bruce in right against Scotty Rowan at third, with a latter third of Fred Lewis, Ramon Hernandez, and Edinson Volquez. Matt Garza came over during the offseason from Tampa Bay, and you see his numbers: 65 strikeouts against just 16 walks.
And it makes you shake your head a little bit for the simple fact that having that many strikeouts, you would think that his ERA would be better, that his opponent's batting average would be a little bit better. But evidently he's either on the money or right in the heart of the plate.
Well, we talked about Garza, very, very temperamental young man. He continues to do the best he can to harness that temper. We saw him get very upset on the mound when he faced the Reds in Chicago that last road trip. Garza hung with a loss in a 5-4 decision. Gave up 5 runs, 6 hits in 6 innings. So Drew Stubbs digging in, 281 batter. And he looks at a fastball, strike one. 9 consecutive games. Drew Stubbs has gotten on base at least twice. Last night had a hit, also drew a walk, scored a run. So he showed you right from the first pitch. Edinson Volquez tonight making his 9th start of the year, and in every single start the Reds have trailed in the game. A lot of the issues he had in the first inning, those have been calmed down here more recently. but a 3 spot in the first inning allowed tonight. It's really a shame the weather being what it is and really holding down the crowds here at Great American Ballpark. Had the big sellout crowd on a nice day on Saturday after a big crowd on Friday night, but Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 straight days just like this. One out. Chicago defensively, they have Fukudome out in right field. It's presented by Ford. Marlon Byrd in center and Soriano in left. Same infield we saw here last night. And Wellington Castillo gets a start behind the plate. Their regular catcher Giovanni Soto currently on the disabled list. We saw Coy Hill get the start in the opening game. Now Paul Janisch back in the lineup after Edgar Renteria got the start here yesterday. Strike one.
I think from the Reds' perspective, if you keep the pressure on this defense and continue to put the ball in play, you're going to make these guys make some mistakes. You're going to force them to, especially on a wet night, wet grass. But you got to keep the ball out of the air. Hard ground balls and line drives, you got a chance to force them into some bad situations.
1-1 on Janisch. And that'll bounce up there. 2 balls and a strike. Down on 1 knee to get it, Barney, and there are 2 gone in the first. Joey Votto at 345. 5 home runs, 23 driven in. I never saw Garza much pitching over with Tampa Bay in the American League. He has that little wiggle with his glove that reminds you a little bit of Ryan Dempster.
And I think some of that is just trying to get, he does not put the split finger into his hand before he enters the glove. And by moving the glove the way that he does, it allows him to get the grip. He'll shake that glove as he's getting the sign from the catcher.
Three 3-0.
That was the split there. He uses the split more as a changeup than he does as a strikeout pitch, if you will. There's that movement of the glove.
And a 4-pitch walk issue to Joey Votto will allow Brandon Phillips to bat with 1 on and 2 outs. Reds trailing 3-0 here in the last of the first inning.
And I think that's the kind of at-bats, Tom, that the Reds are going to have to force Garza to give them fastballs in the zone that they can handle.
Every 5 times he walks to the plate, Joey Votto is getting a walk. Our Farmers Insurance Group report card. We're going to go back to these numbers here in a minute. When Brandon Phillips is batting in the number 2 hole, the idea is to get on base and score runs. In 18 games, he scored 17 runs. When Rolen went down, he was moved to the cleanup spot, where you're expected to drive in runs. 19 games, 19 RBIs. That is doing it.
It's just amazing that he's able to switch from one spot to the other, whether it's leadoff, whether it's second, whether it's batting fourth, and do exactly what that position in the order requires. I mean, we've seen it time and time again now, hitting in this number 4 spot, most recently against the Cardinals, where Joey Votto was walked, and then the guy that's hitting behind him is there for protection against that intentional base on balls. And Brandon Phillips was able to come through with a base hit or reaching base or getting a sacrifice fly, some way of making something positive happen.
Brandon has knocked in 7 runs in the first 4 games of this homestand. When your cleanup hitter's knocking in 7 runs in 4 games, it's no surprise your team is unbeaten on it.
And Phillips has talents that go beyond hitting just in the 4th spot. He could lead off and steal bases if you had to have him to.
He is just simply having a marvelous year. If there is any player in baseball that is more deserving, and at least right now, we have a long way to go between now and the All-Star game that will be played this year out in Phoenix, Arizona. But at least through the first month and a half, there is no player at any position deserving to start more at their position than Brandon Phillips.
Totally agree. And I think that there are many others that would agree along the same lines that we do if you had the opportunity to watch him play every day and see the things that he does to help his club win on an individual basis. I mean, it's past anything I've seen in a long time.
Two and two to Brandon. Joey Votto over at first base with 2 outs here in the first inning. You know, you saw those numbers a moment ago, and you know, you go back 3 years ago and Phillips knocked in nearly 100. Of course, those were on Reds teams where they were asking him to bat in the cleanup spot regularly. He was a much younger player as well. He just continues to mature and get better and better. The RBIs way down last year when he was hitting primarily second and then first late in the year.
And how many times have we heard a negative word come out of Phillips' mouth about changing his batting order or moving him around from here to there?
Never.
Not a word. And I guarantee you, with any other player, most any other player, I should say, you would hear something about it. Well, now you're hitting me 4th. Now you're hitting me 2nd. Well, I can't do this. I can't do that.
Quite an at-bat here after initially falling behind for no balls and 2 strikes. He's run the count full. Got an email from your old teammate, Mark Grant. He's hanging out with the Padres skipper Bud Black out in Arizona and dialed into the Cowboy.
Oh, Harry. Harry and Mud.
And there's ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by Garza after retiring Stubbs and Giannis to begin the inning. And that will bring Jay Bruce to the plate.
This team seems to have a propensity to throw Jay inside. Maybe they'll continue that here in this at bat. Let him scorch another one down that right field line.
Well, Zambrano made him look really bad his first 2 times up last night, pitching him away and getting on pop-ups into short left field. And then after getting ahead 2 strikes in the at-bat is part of that 7-run 6th inning. He missed with a fastball in, and Bruce whacked it down the line. That was an RBI base hit. Reds had 7 runs and 6 hits, the only inning they scored in the game last night, in a 7-4 win.
There's a couple of guys on this team. Stubbs likes hitting against this ball club, against the Cubs, and so does Bruce. The numbers show it.
They're setting up inside again on an 0-2 pitch and beat him with a fastball up and in. 2 walks, 2 left. End of 1. Cubs lead 3-0. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Look at the Reds starting pitching. Going back to May the 3rd. An 8-0 record spanning 12 games, an ERA barely over 2. And you got to remember, that includes the struggles of Edinson Volquez, of course, mixed in there. They had a 24-inning scoreless streak that was broken up down in Houston. I mean, that ERA is around 1.5 or less. As this ball's in the air to left center field, hit well. Lewis going back, and he'll track it down for out number 1.
That was a nice play by Fred Lewis. That ball normally would be a double. He got a good jump on it, and with his speed, he was able to run it down. Breaking ball. Down in full extension by Soriano. Problems where Lewis has is going directly back on a ball or coming directly in. Side to side, he is fine.
Now Wellington Castillo, good breaking ball there from Edinson Volquez. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Castillo only 4 at-bats, played in 1 game since being brought up from the minor leagues, replacing the injured Giovanni Soto, and he went around there, fouled it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Tom, the thing that amazes me about Castillo is he only hit 176 against right-handed pitching in AAA. They must be thin at the catching position.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and the first 2 retired by Edinson here in the 2nd inning. A couple of finals earlier today in baseball. Colorado and the Giants. That's a good series. They wrapped up a 2-gamer with the Rockies beating the Giants 5-3. So after losing the first game, Colorado will win, and they're now a half game in front of the Giants in the National League West. There's a breaking ball in the outer edge. Dodgers are 4 back, but they're 4 games under 500. We'll see the Dodgers a couple of times coming up in the not too distant future. A series here on the next homestand, and we'll go to LA. Swing and a miss. And a good bounce back second inning. 1-2-3 for Volquez. Reds down 3-0. $3 off the price of admission during our Ticket Tuesday right now. You can get a view level seat for the Reds Brewers series plus a free McDonald's extra value meal for just $12. Think about that. $12. Get a ticket to the ball game, a good one at that, and an extra value meal. But you got to get on right now our Ticket Tuesday. Reds down 3-0. Carlos Pena clubbing a 3-run home run with 2 outs in the first inning. Matt Garza walked a couple of batters but struck out Jay Bruce to end the inning. So the Reds will send up Scott Rowland, Fred Lewis, and Ramon Hernandez.
Well, as well as the Reds have hit the ball as of late, Garza is going to really have to put together a heck of a ball game to hold these guys, the Reds guys, at bay.
Been a real nice return for Scotty Rowland since being reinstated from the disabled list on Friday. Has a hit in each of the 4 games. In fact, is just under 500. Has 8 hits and 17 at bats. 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 RBIs with no minor league rehab starts.
There's just not a whole lot of moving parts to the swing of Scott Rowland. Take your batting practice swings, you take your swings off the tee, you're ready to go. The only issue he's had has been a couple of times in the field.
Broken back, little pop up to the second baseman Barney, 1 out. If you're hitting the road, take the Reds with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Fred Lewis, playing in his 9th game since being activated off the disabled list, has 5 hits and 16 at bats. And in the 16 ABs, he already has a home run and 4 batted in.
He had a couple of hits against the Cubs in one of the games up there, right through that shortstop third base side.
Hooked into shallow right here. Fukudome coming hard. He'll run it down.
Looked like he had him way out in front of that, a split finger or a curveball of some type. Lewis was way out in front.
It is rare to see a guy who could be as hot as Ramon Hernandez is hot right now and batting in the 8th spot in the order.
I know it.
Has a 10-game hitting streak in which he's batted .421 with 4 home runs and 2 doubles. By the way, the 10-game hit streak, the longest by a Red batter this year. And you mentioned earlier, he also happens to have a 10-game hitting streak here at Great American Ballpark, which he's hit .563.
So I think it's safe to say that he's seeing the ball well, and he is quite healthy at this moment. He's throwing out runners at an awfully good percentage as well.
It's a big-time slugging percentage here on the home front there. Almost .900. 2-0 to Hernandez. Reds already have 12 wins of their 24 overall this year coming from behind, so they're going to have to try and do it again tonight. And in the prior 8 Edinson Volquez starts in which they fell behind every game, they came back to win 5 of the 8. He has certainly been, without a doubt, among the most fortunate 3-1 pitchers in all of baseball this year.
Yeah, I would say so. No doubt about that. But they're facing a guy right now that's only given up 1 home run all year, and that happened to be to Jay Bruce.
Two and 2 on Hernandez.
You watch Garza pitch, not a tremendous amount of movement on the fastball as far as running in on the right-handed hitters, but he pitches inside as much as anybody I've seen. He comes in there meaning business.
Back up through the middle. Barney, a nice pickup and a nice play.
Nice job.
In a 1-2-3 second for Matt Garza. We move to the 3rd at Great American Ballpark. The Cubs in front 3-0.
We didn't let games slide, 4 and 5 days at a time. And early on this year, we found ourselves winning a bunch and losing too many consecutively. So I think just staying focused on the things that we're doing right now that are making us successful is playing good defense, throwing strikes, not walking a lot of batters, and hopefully getting big hits when you can. I mean, that doesn't come all the time, but right now it's happening. And when that does click for us, we feel like we've got a good enough rotation to give up 2 or 3 or 4 runs a night and still have an opportunity to win the ball game.
Our Geico Direct quote from Bronson Arroyo. He'll get the ball in the opening game against the Pirates here tomorrow night. Reds will have a night game tomorrow against Pittsburgh and wrap up the series and the homestand with a day game on Thursday. Fukudome, a tapper, bare hand, Brandon Phillips. Every night, every night, every night.
We saw Darwin Barney make a fine play to end the inning for the Cubs, and if this isn't a one-up, I don't know what is. Bare hand, same spot, perfect shot. You know how hard it is to catch a ball like that with a bare hand without running?
You see the lips of Joey Votto? He said, "Oh my." As soon as he caught the ball, you're staring at Phillips and going, "Oh my." They become routine, and there is nothing routine about it.
No. Those are some of the hardest plays in the game, and he makes them look easy.
I mean, the Reds Hall of Famer, some might say the best second baseman that's ever played the game, Joe Morgan. They had a really nice article in the Cincinnati paper today. Morgan talking about Brandon Phillips and the way he is playing right now and the comparisons between the two players. And look, I'm not going to sit here and get into a debate as to whether or not Phillips will go down as good as Morgan, whether he'll ever be a Hall of Fame player. Morgan won back-to-back MVPs, as we know. It's not the point. Morgan was making the point that he's not so sure that play that Phillips made flipping between his legs wasn't the best play he's ever seen a second baseman make.
Right.
He said what you said. It's impossible to believe somebody made that play. Running full speed to grip the ball barehanded. And while you're in full stride, one leg moving forward, the other, of course, staying put, and to be able to flip it between the legs in time to get out the batter. He said he's never sure he's seen a better play.
And you don't practice that kind of stuff. It is sheer athletic, God-given ability. And Brandon Phillips has flat out got it.
Well, here's that play we're talking about, and this is in full speed. He's running between the legs, and that's the only chance he had. We talked about it many times. If he brings the ball in forward of the leg in front, he never gets him. If he throws it behind the back, he never gets him. The only way was through the legs. Already a pair of Gold Gloves in the career of Brandon Phillips, and there's a whole lot more where that came from.
I would have to agree with that wholeheartedly.
Look at that little guy. Got that foul ball off the bat of Darwin Barney. Of course, he likes the regular Barney better than Darwin Barney.
That big purple one?
Yeah. So, you know, his dad could just say, "You got a foul ball from Barney."
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Totally digging it.
Well, this particular Barney is a mighty tough hitter to put away. He singled, stole the base his first time up. He's only struck out 12 times all year long. In fact, him and Castro, who's due up next, are two of the most difficult batters to strike out in all of baseball. Not going to strike him out, but they'll get him out. Take a look at the National League Central Division standings going into play tonight, presented by Honda. Cardinals beat the Phillies and Cliff Lee last night, so still a game-and-a-half spread. Milwaukee beginning to play much better. Brewers have won 4 in a row. The Pirates have lost 6 in a row. We'll see the Pirates beginning tomorrow.
Brewers look like they are playing with it looks like they're having a little more fun. And I know winning goes with that and all those times. Chicken before the egg, winning before having fun, whatever it may be. But they seem to be coming to the ballpark, and whether it's win, lose, or draw, they're laying it all out there and having a good time doing it.
Down in Mississippi, which side would they come down on? What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
I'm going to have a hard time answering that one. I should have never brought it up.
Because, you know, you use Southerners, and I was born in the South, the mid-Atlantic South, but the South nonetheless.
Right.
Well, our whole family's from down in Virginia, so the Southerners always have such, great phrases about things. It's one part of the country where, you seem to hear just so many, lines that'll come out from somebody just kind of hanging out and talking. You're like, wow,
and
that's cool.
It just comes out, and you don't realize it. It just happens.
Well, the entire Reds infield broke for the first base side dugout. They thought that fastball, or that breaking ball rather, was strike 3. Two and two on Starlin Castro, and there's strike 3.
He looks a lot more aggressive.
Text poll question tonight, Cowboy, and as if on cue, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Text 1 or 2 to 37664. Standard texting rates do apply. So you're not going to weigh in on this? You brought it up. We had a completely different Meyer text poll question tonight.
I know. I don't know what I would say.
Well, come on. I mean, you only have
5 seconds. You only have a 50-50 chance.
1 or 2. You have A or B.
But I could make a good argument for both of them.
Yes, you can, for sure. We'll wait to hear from those of you at home. Early results, the chicken running away from the egg.
the chicken came first for me, there wouldn't be an egg, because I'd eat it. So we're going to be thrown on the grill and be gone.
Volquez, a one-hopper down to Aramis Ramirez. And so the first time through the batting order for Matt Garza, the Reds still searching for their first hit. He walked Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips consecutively after 2 were out in the first inning, but struck out Jay Bruce to end the threat. Only one other game in all of baseball being played right now, and of course there are a host of games scheduled to have already started. But there is rain everywhere, or at least all over the Midwest and the Eastern Seaboard. All the way up in Detroit, they're in a rain delay.
Surprised it's
in
not
Boston.
No.
Well, you're not kidding.
Cold.
You got a bunch of games in a little bit west of Cincinnati that are scheduled to start, and there's their first hit of the night. Single by Drew Stubbs with 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
Breaking ball stays right in the heart of the plate. The first curveball was dead outside. He likes playing against the Cubs too.
Well, now Paul Giannis. Well, you like seeing those numbers of guys wearing out teams in your own division.
No doubt.
I mean, you know, it's always nice when you're playing teams anywhere from 15 to 18 times a year to have the big numbers against. Not that you don't want to go well against the teams you play, what, 6, 7 times max?
Right.
Outside your division.
He's now hit in 9 of his last 10 games, all against division opponents.
Drew with 13 stolen bases in 14 attempts. Two out in the inning. Joey Votto walked his first time up. We told you Joey has 5 home runs, but it's been a while. He's gone 72 plate appearances without a home run, the longest drought of his very young major league career. Trying to run into one right here against Matt Garza. First pitch fastball right down the can, strike 1. Reds have won 4 consecutive series, this only being a 2-gamer. Obviously they've got to win tonight to quote unquote win the series. And they've won 7 of their last 8 games, 10 of their last 12, and they have won 6 in a row here on the home front.
And that's what I mean by throwing inside with conviction. The last 2 pitches have been right on the inside corner, and Votto has been looking out over the plate. And you got to have some pretty good intestinal fortitude to come up there and fire fastballs inside to Joey Votto.
Went away that time, and Votto able to foul it off. goes, pitch in the dirt, and no chance for Castillo. That'll be stolen base number 14 for Drew Stubbs. So he's in scoring position with 2 men out for Votto.
And I wonder if Stubbs got a chance to look into the catcher's mitt to see what the pitch was, but that was a perfect time to go on a pitch looked to be a split finger down in the dirt.
One ball and 2 strikes on Joey Votto. Garza check back at the runner, and it's in the air to left field. Drifting back, Soriano at the wall, and he's got it, and that'll end the inning. A hit a man left. We played 3. Cubs lead by 3. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by John Deere, visit your local Cincinnati John Deere dealer this deer season. There you go, cowboy. You'd be ready for a few nachos, wouldn't you?
There ain't much I wanted.
I mean, you went back to the well for a second straight night tonight.
On the Penn Station?
On the Penn Station. 2 nights in a row.
Told you I liked it. I would have gone and got some of those chicken wings, but they're too hot for me to eat during the game and try to talk.
Aramis Ramirez to lead off the Cubs' 4th inning. Cubs got 3 runs in the first against Edinson Volquez. A 1-out single by Barney. He was at second with 2 men out. But the biggest at bat in the inning was with 2 outs and already ahead 0-1 in the count. Volquez hit Aramis Ramirez, which allowed Carlos Pena to come to the plate, and he had a first pitch fastball way up into the seats in right field. That ball blistered into left center, and Lewis will get it.
And you're going to hear time and time again, and I'll probably be one of them that says it, that he has a difficult time going back on a ball in left field. But left to right, he does very well. He got to that ball. He got to a ball earlier and made a nice catch in left center field right at the edge of the wall. And that's a heck of a play right there. Going back and coming in, that's where he has the toughest time.
Well, now Pena, who clubbed his 5th home run of the season, his first time up. And this time they throw him a first pitch breaking ball, and it's down and in, ball 1.
Hallelujah.
For those of you just joining us, Pena has 5 home runs, and 3 of them have all come against the Reds, and all 3 including tonight. have come on first pitch fastballs. One by Cordero that tied the game in the 9th inning. The only time the Cubs have beaten the Reds this year. That was in Chicago. Homer Bailey gave it up last night, and Volquez in the 1st inning tonight. Rain beginning to fall harder than it has all night, and that was in the forecast. Right around 8:15, 8:30. It is rare to see our weather come from the east, but it is coming over from West Virginia, southeast of Cincinnati.
That pitch there by Volquez was an outstanding changeup. It started middle in and broke back over the outside corner, and Pena thought it was a fastball. He was about to come out of his shoes.
Bundled up and all snuggled up. Three-1 to Pena, and there's a walk. The first base runner allowed since the Pena home run by Edinson Volquez. It's his first walk. He's also hit about it. When does the rain become a nuisance for a pitcher?
You know, Tom, it's really not that bad unless you feel a little bit of slipping as you deliver the ball when that front foot lands. You like to be able to turn your foot as you deliver the ball. That allows you to clear your hips, so that's really not that big of a deal. As far as water on your hands and stuff like that, the rosin bag, believe it or not, in rain like this stays completely dry. All you've got to do is pop it a couple of times and that powder comes out and it takes care of your hand.
Two on Marlon Byrd. Took care of him on strikes, and that's 6 of them through the first 3 2/3 for Edinson Volquez.
Well, I think we're starting to see a pattern of success versus failure with Volquez in this game alone. When he gets his secondary pitches ahead early in the count, he's having great success. Those are where he's getting his strikeouts. When he can't get the breaking ball or the changeup over the plate early in the count, that's when he's either getting blistered or when he's walking batters.
Now Soriano, who just missed, clubbing one out of here his first time up, sending Fred Lewis out to the wall in left center field. Pena over at first. Very short lead over there. The Cubs just do not run. Yes, they do have a stolen base earlier in the game tonight by Darwin Barney. Well, we told you, they have not even reached 10 stolen bases on the year as a team.
And really, that stolen base there, in my mind, was not a complete stolen base, simply because you're running with protection of the hitter, knowing he's going to swing the bat.
Reds will see the Atlanta Braves very, very soon. In fact, on this upcoming road trip. Boy, what a trip it is for the Reds. I mean, you're going toe-to-toe with some of the very best teams in all of baseball. And yes, I say baseball because interleague play begins this weekend. Reds will be playing their brethren to the north in the Buckeye State, the Cleveland Indians, who of course have the best record in all the American League. Then you go to the team with the best record in the National League in Philadelphia, and then wrap up with 3 in Atlanta. I mean, that is a tough assignment. But as the old saying goes, Cowboy, You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Well, every club is playing every club, and you're going to have rough stretches throughout your schedule, just like everybody else does. The bottom line is you got to hold your own. Nobody ever said that you had to win every ball game on the road. The old saying goes, if you're 500 on the road and you win 2 out of 3 at home, you're going to be all right.
Struck him out. 7 strikeouts through 4 innings tonight for Edinson Volquez. The rain continues to fall with the Cubs in front after 3.5, 3-0. Of Hamilton, Ohio, currently drives a 2008 Sequoia, will win the beautiful new Tundra on display each and every night at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win it at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. 3-0 ball game. Cubs in front. Reds bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. And our AT&T trivia question: who recorded the first Reds win against the Cubs at Great American Ballpark? So we'll give you a little while to think about that. Meanwhile, the rain falling. Doug Gallant and his staff, man, they do such a great job here with all the rain that we have had this entire spring, and we've talked about it before. Last month was the 2nd rainiest month ever recorded in the history of Cincinnati. Not the 2nd rainiest April, the 2nd rainiest month, period. And May has not been a whole lot drier.
That's why there's a whole lot of flooding down in my neck of the woods right now.
It's very sad.
Right on down to Mississippi.
Well, they're out there working on the mound, trying to put some of that dry dirt before Garza takes a ball here in the 4th to face Phillips, Bruce, and Rowland.
This, you asked me the question a while ago, Tom, about how the mound affects you when it's raining. And this diamond dry that they put out on the mound, that's the stuff that gets you a little bit. It does keep you from slipping, but what it does do is it cakes up under your spikes, and it's hard to get that stuff off. And when you get it caked under your spikes, you feel like you're having to lift about a 5-pound weight every time you pick your foot up.
2-0 to Brandon. And there's a base hit into center field to begin the inning. Brandon has been on twice, a walk and now a hit.
3 consecutive fastballs, all down and away. This one got the outside corner. And as you can see on the Expo there, Phillips got the ball on the outside corner, sends it right back up the box.
That's what you're talking about right there, getting all muddied up.
Yep.
Right now, Jay Bruce, he struck out on 3 pitches his first time up, and trying to bunt his way on is Bruce.
Jay trying to push that ball to the left side because of the way they play him on the shift.
Jay Bruce. And that missed up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
One hit to left, 18 to center, 18 to right.
The glove of Wellington Castillo. And that'll be a wild pitch charge to Garza with Brandon Phillips advancing 90 feet.
And even though that ball hit the webbing of Castillo's glove, that was a curveball that came out of the hand of Garza way too soon. Watch this ball almost go straight up into the air. Goes out of your screen of vision. And out of the vision of the catcher Castillo as well.
So 3-2 now on Jay Bruce. Scotty Rowland waiting on deck. Reds have Brandon Phillips at second base. Nobody out to begin this bottom of the 4th. And a pop up in the foul ground. Bruce trying to blow on that thing, but it won't work. 1 out. So not only an out by Bruce, a non-productive out. And here comes Rowland.
Yeah, if that ball's on the ground or anywhere towards the right side of the infield, you basically got yourself a manufactured run with Rowland at the plate. And you cut that deficit to 2 instead of 1.
Well, we'll see if Scotty can get him in anyway. Rowland popped up softly on a broken bat to Darwin Barney, his first at bat tonight. 1-1.
That's the pitch he took a swing at the first go around, was that hard sinking fastball inside and hit a jam shot over to the second baseman that barely got into the air. This time he takes it.
back with a fastball and a good one. Rolen able to foul it away. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whereas Garza was going toe-to-toe regularly with some of the best teams in baseball while pitching for Tampa Bay. I mean, you play the Yankees and the Red Sox 18 times a year in the lineups they have, and you know, we've seen Toronto the last number of years in interleague play. I mean, that team can hit. Davey Johnson, the one-time Reds manager, used to talk frequently about bringing a pitcher over from the American League to the National League, and he was always a big proponent of it. You know, depending on who the guy was, obviously, but he always felt like even guys that weren't hard throwers, you know, when you're facing a lineup each and every start, no pitcher in that lineup, loaded with plenty of offense.
And what he's saying is that you figure out how to learn to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just getting up there and getting guys out with your physical velocity or just because you have a good breaking ball.
That fastball just missed, and Garza thought he had strike 3. That was a 95-mile-per-hour fastball on the inside edge, just off of it.
And when I say learn to pitch, I'm talking about keeping hitters off balance, using all your pitches, throwing a secondary pitch for a strike when you're behind in the count, 2-0, 3-1. You got to be able to throw a breaking ball for a strike.
And there's ball 4. What an at-bat by Rolen. That's 3 walks tonight for Garza. The Reds have 2 on with 1 out, and Fred Lewis coming up. Don't forget, Saturday, May the 28th, the UEFA Champions League final. It'll be Barcelona and Man U, and Fox Sports has exclusive coverage of the UEFA Champions League final beginning Saturday, May the 28th, 2 p.m. Eastern in HD.
It's a big at bat right here for Fred Lewis, especially with Ramon Hernandez, as hot as he's been lately, standing on deck.
Well, you're talking about Lewis in very limited playing time and RBI chances. He's made the most of them. I mean, 4 RBIs in his first 16 at bats. Two and 0. Tardy on a 2-0 fastball. It's 2 balls and a strike on Lewis.
That last little bit of run away from the left-handed hitter for Garza keeps that ball from staying on the fat part of the bat.
The inning began with a single to center by Brandon Phillips. Went to second on a wild pitch. Jay Bruce fouled out to third. And then Scott Rolen drew a walk. So 2 on, 1 out. Reds down 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-2 on Fred Lewis. Broken bat roller. Pena will feed to Garza. The runners will advance, but they're 2 away in the inning. And now decision time for Garza. You have a 3-0 lead. You have first base open. And a red-hot number 8 hitter coming up in Ramon Hernandez. And I don't know why you pitch to this guy, but
I think that's why Mike Quade is headed to the mound.
I don't even think it takes this much work.
If I'm Mike Quaddy, I'd just hold up 4.
Yeah.
Unless he's just cold and he needed to run out to the mound right quick.
Which might be right. Well, they're not going to hold out 4 fingers. Well, now they are. Well, Brandon Phillips going to be alive down there at third base. You never know. I mean, Garza's now one of these guys. We've seen him do this before. On an intentional walk, he cuts it loose now. He's not lobbing it up there.
That baby was almost ran back over the plate. You can see Hernandez getting ready now. Castillo had to reach back to his left, which is where the plate is, on pitch number 2.
4 walks in the game, 2 in the first, 2 here in the fourth. That's the first intentional pass issued by Garza. And if there's ever a time for Edinson Volquez to get his first hit of the year, right now would be a good time to do it. Oh, for his first 15.
Choke up. Close your eyes and swing as hard as you can. Hope that thing falls in somewhere.
How about that? And Volquez will reach on a hit, and here comes a second run. It'll score. The Cubs throw it away, and all the way to third is Ramon Hernandez. How about that from Edinson Volquez?
And he's going to get home. This game is tied. Clears the bases. Volquez is going to get second base.
And Mike Quade wanting to get an explanation.
Actually, he may get third. The ball went into the camera well. He's going to get third base. Wow.
Well, Mike Quade is saying, hey, look, can we ask the other umpires?
I think what they're saying, Tom, is you get 2 bases on an overthrow from an outfielder that goes out of the field of play, and that's who threw the ball was Fukudome.
That's right. You're 100% correct. Can you believe that?
No.
Edinson Volquez, 0 for 15, and at least put in play. That's all you can ask, right?
Right. Just close your eyes and swing as hard as you can. That ball must have had some kind of spin on it for Pena not to catch it, because he is an awfully good first baseman.
You know what? That throw did not come from
it came from Garza.
Came from Garza.
But once it hit the camera and went out of the field of play, there's your 2 extra bases. And that was after Volquez reached first. That's what it was, Tom.
It's a 3-3 game, and now Drew Stubbs with a go-ahead run at third base looks at a strike.
The ball is missed by Pena. Now Volquez is safe at first on the throw. This is where the 2 bases come into play. After Garza has the baseball and throws it away.
Well, they give Pena an error on that ball.
And then Garza, the 2-base error.
Garza, yep, the 2-base error, allowing Volquez to go all the way to third and a second run to score and a third one to score. And there's a roller. Castro gets rid of it in time. But the Reds score 3. And we're tied at 3. on Reds Live.
You know, Tom, we were talking earlier as the game began about continuing to put the ball in play against this Cubs defense. As long as it's not pop-ups, you hit the ball on the ground, line drives, and hard ground balls, and these guys will make mistakes, and it just showed up. 3 unearned runs with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and the pitcher at the plate. Oh, my. If you're Matt Garza, what do you do? I mean, he threw the ball off the camera.
Meanwhile, Edinson Volquez, after allowing a couple of hits, hitting a batter, and a 3-run home run to Carlos Pena in the first inning, has settled in. He's only allowed 1 base runner over the last 3 innings. That was a 1-out walk to Pena in the 4th. And here we are set to begin the 5th, and Volquez has already struck out 7 Cubs in the game.
He needs to just stay aggressive. After the home run by Pena, he's been as aggressive as I've seen him this year. He's got to stay in that same mode. Stay in the attack mode.
Well, especially here at the bottom part of the order leading things off. You've got 8, 9, and 1. Wellington Castillo. He struck out his first time up. Garza next. He struck out his first time up. And Fukudome, the leadoff hitter, is 0 for 2. So a new ball game at the end of 4. A 3-3 game. Cardinals and Phillies are scoreless in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Certainly worth noting in that game tonight the return of Roy Oswalt, who's missed so much time to tend to his family and all the terrible flooding, and on the heels of the terrible tornado that came through Mississippi, and having to help so many family members get through just an extraordinarily difficult time.
A non-stop nightmare.
Castillo fouling that one off his front shin or right above the ankle.
Change up there, and he just pulled that ball right off the instep of his left leg, or left foot, I should say.
One and 2 again to Castillo, and he went around. It looked like, oh, they said he did not. On the appeal to Laz Diaz, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mr. Castillo may have caught a break right there. Volquez a strike away from his 8th punch out of the night. And he rocks back, kicks, and brings him. Ball 3.
This is a batter you just have to make him swing the bat. You have to make him either make contact or you strike him out. No free passes to a guy that hit 176 against right-handers in AAA.
Jam shot to the left side. Giannis bobbles. Wow.
fastball looks like it took a funny hop off that turfed infield. Looked like a jam shot. Nope. Just had it in his glove and just couldn't come up with it.
Well, now the pitcher Garza trying to move the runner along with a bunt. Cardinals did not have a single sacrifice. And he is 1 for 18 as a batter. And if you're wondering his only hit, it came against Edinson Volquez when they got together on that Friday afternoon in Chicago. He had a single in the center field leading off the 3rd inning and scored a run. We asked Mike Quaddy in Chicago when the Reds were there for that weekend series a couple of weeks ago, and he said it point blank, I do not like the bunt. I don't like it. I don't like giving up the out. He said I'll do it maybe from the 7th inning on if I feel like it's that kind of a game.
Well, if you're in the National League and you're a pitcher, you have to be able to bunt.
And Garza can't bunt. He's out of there on strikes.
When Volquez has been successful in this ball game, it's been because he's been able to get the secondary pitch over early in the count. You see the curveball there to Soriano. A couple of pitches later, he gives him the changeup. When you have a curveball and a changeup that you can get in the strike zone, it makes your fastball look that much better. But when your secondary pitches are all over the place, then the hitters are just going to sit on just your fastball. Tonight, he's been able to get the secondary pitches over for strikes.
Now Fukudome, 8 strikeouts tonight for Volquez, and a liner foul. May have broken his bat. Kosuke taking a look at it, and now he'll listen to it. Apparently he did not break it. Well, you don't need to tell Matt Garza. We talked about how, you know, he's been, I don't know if plagued is the right word or not, but he's had a very explosive temper going all the way back to his days in high school. And well documented is that's the 2nd out of the inning. You don't need to tell the guy, but if he's going to win in this league, he's got to learn how to bunt.
And bunting is not that difficult, Tom. It just takes practice. It's a repetitive practice that you've got to get down in the cage, and you've got to do it a lot. And all you're doing is taking the fat part of the bat and catching the baseball. That's all you're doing. You bunt the top half of the ball, and you've got to bunt.
Saw Carlos Pena come over there and go whispering into the ear of Matt Garza. Of course, no one on this Cub team knows Garza better than Pena. They were teammates the last number of years with the Rays. One and one to Darwin Barney, who singled, stolen a base, scored on the Pena home run in the 1st inning, and then bounced out to Joey Votto in the 3rd.
The hardest part about a pitcher bunting, Tom, more times than not, is being afraid of getting your hand hit. And when you spent the majority of your time in the American League, you think about getting your fingers hit or your fingers broken, you start to retreat with that bat, and then you foul the bunt off.
Well, I'll never forget it. A game back in my days announcing the Cubs. Remember Kevin Gross, big, strong right-hander, signed a contract with the Dodgers. And I mean, I'm not sure there was a tougher guy in baseball than Kevin Gross.
I remember exactly what you're talking about.
And I remember one time he slid that right hand down the bat. Pitch came in and bang, right on the fingers, broke 2 of them right on the spot.
It's happened a lot. But that goes back to the practice and the repetition. If you can do it in the cage and you can do it successfully there, then there's no reason you can't do it in the state of a ball game. But if you can't do it down in the cage and you don't practice it there, well, then you'll never be able to do it out here.
It's 2-2 to Darwin Barney. Go ahead run at first with 2 away here in the 5th. And And a slow tapper, Giannis to make amends for the error. Yes, sir, and that's out.
The changeup.
An error, man left, middle of the fifth, a 3-3 game. Against the Chicago Cubs, you remember Scott Williamson. Boy, he had good stuff when he was healthy, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Not a very big guy, but he could flat sling it.
There's a Captain Barry Larkin. There's your old buddy Sean Casey. I still love those unis.
That's the kind we started when we were here.
Yeah, I love those unis.
We started wearing those because Dion was rolling up his sleeves on the other uniform. So instead of telling Dion he couldn't do it, we changed the uniform.
Yeah. And now they've gone to the throwback, very similar to the jerseys they wore many, many years ago. Two, 3, and 4 in the batting order against Matt Garza in a 3-3 game. Giannis, Votto, and Brandon Phillips. One out.
Giannis has not gotten a hit since he came back from the ankle issue. And he was swinging the bat pretty well at the time, but he is chasing pitches that are up in the strike zone. And for him, any fastball that's above his hands, he can't chase that pitch. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be a fly ball and an out.
Now Joey Votto's drawn a walk and flied out to deep left field. He just missed. Hitting home run number 6 to left center field his last time up. Three runs, 2 hits, 2 big errors for Chicago. There's a ground ball to Barney. 2 away. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 4 men left on base for the Reds. 2 down here in the 5th. Check out the Johnny Bench, baseball's greatest catcher exhibit, presented by Dinsmore and Scholl at the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. For more information, visit redsmuseum.org. Well, that is some kind of exhibit they have over there. JB.
You don't even have to be a baseball fan to enjoy that. It's big time.
2 gone for Brandon Phillips. He's drawn a walk, singled, and scored a run. And he has a second hit. So that'll give Jay Bruce a chance.
Another fastball outside, and that's where he has stayed with Brandon Phillips all this day. Even the walk earlier in the ball game, all fastballs away. The single last time was a fastball he hit up the middle, and there is a fastball that he slaps into right field.
Bruce has struck out swinging and fouled out to Aramis Ramirez. Up and away, ball one. Well, the Indians not fooling around. They jumped all over Kansas City with 3 runs in the first inning. And it's a 3-1 Tribe lead. That game is in the third. The Reds will see the Indians this weekend up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Better take the pitching and the bats with them. Play the team that scored 17 runs the other night. Oh, my goodness. I felt bad for that kid on the mound.
Indians are 12 games over 500. They've won 2 in a row. I mean, they haven't been as good lately. There's a weak pop up to the left side of the infield. And that'll end the inning. A hit a man left. We played 5. We're tied at 3. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Visit quickread.com. Quickread, it's what America's made of. And by John Deere. Visit your local Cincinnati John Deere dealer this deer season. Big inning here for Edinson Volquez. He's only allowed 2 base runners since giving up the 3-run home run to Carlos Pena in the opening frame. 1 hit, or 1 walk rather, and 1 error. He has fanned 8, but it's 3, 4, and 5. Castro, Ramirez, and Pena in the Chicago 6th in a 3-3 game. 1-2 to Castro, who has struck out swinging and struck out looking. Better get it back or Castro's heading to third. He's going to stop at second base. So the first hit for the Cubs, it's a home run by Pena in the first inning. And it's a leadoff double in a 3-3 game by Starlin Castro.
0-2 pitch. Curveball for a strike, a changeup, foul ball. He's trying to go with a fastball up and away for a swing and a miss, and he leaves it right in the heart of the dish.
Well, now the batter, Aramis Ramirez. He's been hit by a pitch, scored a run, and then hit that line drive into left center field that Fred Lewis made a diving play on to take away at least a double. We talked about this Cub team. They do very, very little to manufacture any runs. Now, obviously, you're not going to ask Aramis Ramirez to bunt here, but he is a guy through his entire career that's been able to hit the ball to the right side. One of his real strengths as a hitter.
He wasn't trying to hit that one to the right side. He was trying to hit that one up on the scoreboard.
A little bit low from Volquez. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The thing with Ramirez is you pound him with the fastballs in, and you bounce the breaking ball down and away.
Not sure that's where he wanted it, but he got a good result. 1-2. Not sure Ramirez agreed with that call by John Hirschbeck either.
You can get away with pitches like that because of the drastic movement that he had on the changeup, other than the fact that it was so much off of the fastball.
1-2 to Aramis Ramirez. Castro at second. And rolling. Unproductive out by Aramis Ramirez. Castro still at second base. 1 out. Reds fans, you can log on to Reds.com today to vote for your favorite Cincinnati Reds players and help send them to Arizona for this year's 2011 All-Star Game. Remember, you can vote up to 25 times. Vote early, vote often, and vote Reds. Reds.com. 1 out in the inning. And here's Carlos Pena, who hit a 3-run home run way back into right field in the first inning. Drew a walk in the 4th.
Pena looks in that zone that is middle in, and if the ball doesn't start there, he does not even move to pull the trigger. This is the same sequence that we saw in the last at bat when Volquez put him on. And then he struck out Bird and Soriano to end the inning.
Edinson at 91 pitches with 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the 6th inning. His longest outing of the year is 6 innings. And he has been there twice, but it's been quite a while since he has finished 6 innings in a game. 3-0. In fact, he went 6 innings 2 of his first 3 starts of the year. The last time all the way back on April the 11th.
8 innings is his career high.
Riano to Pena. Don't think he's going to just take some fastball right down the middle if you groove one in there for him. Oh, he's swinging 3-0, and it wasn't a fastball. Wow.
That's why you can fool this guy more times than not You start your off-speed stuff middle in and let it run away from him. That's exactly what Volquez did there. Watch where this ball starts. Inside, I'm swinging, and look where it ends up. Way off the outside corner. He's not hitting 226 because he's a great hitter.
So now 2 away in the inning. Now here's a guy that came into this game red hot. And that's Marlon Byrd. It swung on and fouled out of play. Now Volquez has had his way with Byrd. He has struck him out swinging twice, but he came into the game riding the wave of a 16-game hitting streak. And that's the longest active streak in the major leagues this year and a new career high for Marlon Byrd.
Byrd likes the ball away from him. And he is an awfully good fastball hitter. He gets his hands inside the ball and he'll hit that ball right back up the box. But tonight, Volquez has fed him a steady diet of off-speed stuff over and over and over again.
Runner at third, 2 outs, 0-2 to Marlon Byrd, and he missed away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And even on that pitch, as far outside as that was, Marlon Byrd had the front shoulder open and his body was going towards the pitch.
And that's it. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings for Edinson Volquez tonight. So after that first inning, he has been lights out. We're tied at 3. Coors Light. There weren't a lot of highlights in 2008, but that was one of them. And boy, you talk about a guy scuffling after signing a mega contract with the White Sox. That would be Adam Dunn. Of course, he had that emergency appendectomy the first week of the season. And that entire team has struggled, although I wouldn't count them out quite yet. That White Sox team. Scott Rowland to lead things off. The White Sox have some guys in that lineup now that can mash. Although a 10-game deficit in the third week of May.
You can make it up, but you got to play some good baseball.
Yes, you do. White Sox trailing tonight, bottom of the third inning at home against Texas, 2-0. Here it is 3-3. Matt Garza on the hill. Closing in on the 90 pitch mark. This will be number 88. Rowland has popped a second, drawn a walk, and scored a run. Garza's been very good tonight. I mean, let's face it. Nice play by a fan in the stands down there. Young man brought his glove. And, you know, when they come back behind home plate, you know, they'll start and they look like they're going to be about 4 or 5 rows behind you. Then they come back. And that fella right there with a glove stayed with it. Nicely done.
That's why every time the ball goes behind the catcher, he goes all the way to the net, because the ball comes back as it has backspin coming off the hitter's back.
That'll be a base hit by Rowland. So the go-ahead run is aboard to begin the Reds' 6th inning.
Well, this will tell us a lot about what Dusty Baker is thinking as far as taking Volquez out of the game. Watch Rowland pull his hands in here and just pull that ball to the left side. Inside elbow right there. Pulls it to the inside and pulls that ball through on the left side. You just take your left arm and dig it right into your rib cage, and as the ball bat head comes through, it'll take the ball with it.
Well, the Cubs believe they are going to ask Fred Lewis to put down a bunt here. We're going to find out right quick.
And that'll tell us whether Volquez is staying in or not, I would imagine.
No sign of a bunt on the first pitch.
The Reds do have action in their bullpen.
It is hard to believe. You look at a guy like Fred Lewis, who's never been a power hitter, never been a big RBI guy, either hit near the top of the order or at the very back end of the order. He has 2 career sacrifice bunts. 2. He spent most of his career in the National League with the Giants.
He must look really bad when he's tried to do it. Whatever you do here, you've got to stay out of the double play. I would imagine that's one of the reasons that he's even getting the opportunity to swing the bat here, is because he's got some speed.
1-1 to Lewis. Trouble here. Well, rather than try and get the tag, Barney threw to the base. And that prevented them from turning a double play.
Looked like a rookie mistake there from Darwin Barney. Looked like he could have tagged Rowland and gone on to the bag. I mean, this looks routine double play here as he comes through, but he immediately pirouettes and throws the ball to second. That killed any chance of a double play there.
Let's see if Rowland was by him. Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to reach out and get it. All right, Ramon Hernandez is grounded to second, was intentionally walked his last time up. Of course, that was a walk to load him up in front of Edinson Volquez. And he hit that soft one-hop liner up the first base line that Pena couldn't handle. He was charged with an error. Ball trickled into short right field. Garza got a hold of it, threw to the plate, and wound up in a camera well, and the Reds scored 3 runs on the play on a ball that never left the infield, or barely left the infield after it hit Pena's glove. Ball 1 to Hernandez.
Well, Hernandez really looking down at Mark Berry. Hit and run, maybe.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second is in time to get Lewis. He got tagged in the face.
I think it was a hit and run, and you could see the swing through there. He did. He got him right in the grill. Not exactly where you're thinking you're going to get tagged when you're sliding in the second base.
Paul Lessard, the head trainer of the Reds, over to take a look at Fred Lewis.
Well, you don't really see Ramon Hernandez swing through a ball like that. Unless, of course, it was a straight steal and he was just trying to protect him.
1-1 to Hernandez. He has 6 home runs this season. Broke his bat, pulling it foul and out of play.
Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results, JTM. That's probably what it was, Tom. I can't imagine that where that pitch was, that Hernandez could not have fouled that pitch off. I mean, that pitch was right. It was a strike whether he swung or not. Maybe he was just trying to protect Fred Lewis on the steal, but they had him dead to rights. That was a bad throw and still got it.
Fred's still trying to get the cobwebs out down there. 1-2 to Hernandez. It bounces up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitcher spot due up next. I don't know. I think it's a hit and run there. You don't?
I just, it may have been. I just can't imagine that he would swing through that pitch. He's usually so good at making contact, especially on the ball that's out over the plate. That's the only reason I think that he was trying to protect him.
What has been a cold, rainy night. It has finally dried up, although a very light mist sort of falling. That one is served into right center field. That'll be a base hit. That's what you were looking for if indeed you were hitting and running when Lewis was up there. But now Volquez will be taken down for a pinch hitter after the 2-out base hit.
You see where that pitch is. I mean, that shows you how well he handles the ball that's down and away. I mean, he puts the bat head right on the baseball.
Well, you got to feel very good about the start tonight from Edinson Volquez, don't you, Cowboy?
I do. I thought he threw the ball outstanding after the swing of Carlos Pena. It looked like we had a different pitcher for the first time. I mean, he was very aggressive. He used a lot of secondary pitches, curveballs and changeups as strikes, and he kept the hitters off balance.
And let's face it, he hit a batter and walked a batter. The hit batsman came in the very first inning. But he only allows 3 hits in 6 innings, strikes out 9, and allows 3 earned runs. And I'm sure Brian Price has plenty to smile about. Edinson does too. He pitched a good game here tonight.
And let's go back also knowing that there was really only one bad pitch in this ball game. If you can pitch every ball game and say, well, I only made one bad pitch, you're going to be all right most of the time. This one just happened to be to the wrong guy.
Well, here's Miguel Cairo. He's batting for Volquez. Much, much, much better. Volquez came in 42 1/3 innings with 33 walks and only issues 1 walk tonight. 0-2 to Cairo.
Just that conversation as we saw a while ago with Brian Price going back through the ball game and the pitches and all of the things that happened during the game and re-emphasizing the positive things that happen in the game for Volquez.
Well, the 101st pitch of the night by Matt Garza strikes out Cairo, so the Reds get a couple of hits but leave 1. We go to the 7th in a 3-3 game. Just rejoining us, apparently That drop third calls the drop third strike. And the Cubs go trotting off the field. Miguel Cairo runs down to first, and they realize that maybe this is still a live ball. They throw down to second, and the runner is safe down there.
Well, the ball hit the ground, and the runner from first, who was Hernandez, was running. He took off running on the strike three when he did the check swing. They checked down to first base. Lance Diaz says, yeah, he went, but the ball was dropped at home plate. So you've got to throw to first to finish the out. The check swing, see, that's the out. There's no tag by the rookie catcher, Castillo.
He's saying he caught it.
Well, he didn't catch that ball. That ball hit the dirt. You didn't catch it. That's not a good time to be trying to fake everybody out. Cairo thinks he's out, and everybody in the dugout is screaming for him to go to first base. Go, 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 go.
Well, look at this. Everybody walking off the field.
Now watch. Now, here we go. Now everybody takes off. And that's where you created the problem. The ball hits the dirt. Check it out on Expo right here. Dirt first, then the glove. No strikeout. Or you get the strikeout, but you also get first base because the runner was not tagged. Now the Reds have a chance to go ahead.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, here's Drew Stubbs. Go ahead run at second. And a breaking ball is fouled away.
Hey, what were you and I talking about last night about this offensive team? You can't go to sleep on these Reds. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, this is going to be a strikeout and then an error on the catcher, Wellington Castillo, allowing this inning to continue. All three Reds runs tonight, unearned runs against Garza. Now he's pitching around a miscue here in the sixth. And it's 1-1 to Stubbs. Well, Mike Quaddy last night after the game, everybody who follows the Cubs has been waiting for him to have a meltdown. Been very upbeat, very positive, even through a lot of tough days the early part of this year, his first full year as manager of the Cubs. You can see by that face. He's not very happy about what he's watching day in and day out. And you can't blame him.
No. As a catcher, regardless of whether the umpire says strike three, the batter's out, whatever, if you're in doubt at all that the third strike hits the ground, you pick that ball up and you tag that runner. He's standing right there. Be safe, not sorry. And I guarantee you he's sorry right now.
Especially if Stubbs gets a hit, which he doesn't, so Gar's able to pitch out of it. The fan Stubbs and the Cubs escape. We're still tied at 3. AT by Cincinnati Children's in the top 10 for all selected pediatric specialties in U.S. News and World Report's 2010 Best Children's Hospitals. By your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. A 3-3 game as the Cubs come to bat here in the top of the 7th inning, and on in relief of Edinson Volquez, who pitched very well tonight. Just activated off the disabled list, former Anaheim Angel, 27-year-old Jose Arredondo.
Well, we saw him for a brief moment, at least an inning against the Cardinals. Only the 3 batters that he faced that night. And this kid has a lightning arm. 90 to 95 with the fastball, and he's got a split finger that the bottom falls out of it.
Told you Arredondo did not pitch at all last year, and the Reds knew when they signed him at the end of the 09 season that they were getting a pitcher who was damaged goods and it would need Tommy John elbow surgery. But they felt he was worth the wait, especially after watching the way he threw for the Angels in 2008. Appeared in 52 games with a 1.6 earned run average. Won 10 games out of their bullpen. But this is the first time he has pitched since being activated where he's pitching in a tight game. That game Cowboy alluded to a couple of days ago is when the Reds had that huge lead over the Cardinals. And they brought Arredondo in the 8th inning. If there's ever been a question or an issue with Jose Arredondo, it is his control. But if this guy can get back to throwing the ball the way he did in 2008, what a weapon the Reds have added here in 2011. But he walked Soriano to begin the 7th inning of a tie game. Well, calling all Reds fans 14 and younger get to Great American Ballpark Sunday, June 5th. Reds and the Dodgers, first 10,000 kids 14 and younger get a Gapper pillowcase thanks to Meyer. Well, they're going to pinch run, and take a look at the young man who's coming out to run. Just brought up from the minor leagues today from Springboro High School, and a graduate, played baseball at the University of Cincinnati. Making his major league debut is Tony Campana.
And this guy can absolutely fly. He is in there to steal a base.
So a local guy makes good here in Campana. He had 66 stolen bases in the minor leagues 2 years ago, 48 of them last year. Boy, you imagine growing up in this area, Reds fan.
Big Red Machine fan. Wow. And this is where you make your major league debut.
You can only imagine what that phone call must have been like for him last night. Finds out from his AAA manager you're going to the big leagues. Oh, and by the way, you're making your debut in your hometown. Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the phone call alone is I can't even describe it. But to know you're coming home to do it is pretty special.
Nice punt put down by Castillo, and a sloppy play by Votto.
Wow.
A rare defensive mistake by the Reds, and now they're 2 on with nobody out.
Votto never got his feet set, and it looked to me as though he picked up a wet baseball. And instead of setting his feet, I don't think he knew where he was either as far as the range of throw he was going to have. Because by the time he set his feet, he had no chance of getting the runner.
Now they're going to send up a pinch hitter, Reed Johnson. He will bat for Garza. Garza goes 6 innings tonight, allows 3 runs, all unearned. Reds had 5 hits against him. He struck out 3, walked 4, 1 intentionally. So now the Cubs really in business here. A walk and a bunt hit. And now a bunt foul by Johnson. Well, you rarely ever see the Reds give teams additional outs. And even though that was not ruled an error, that was ruled a bunt hit by Wellington Castillo. Johnson offers that, and it looked like from up here. They don't appeal. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ivan De Jesus, their third base coach. Bobby Dernier whispering in the ear of Wellington Castillo, the runner over at first.
It looked like he bunted at that ball twice.
I know. I don't know how in the world that wasn't appealed, or how the home plate umpire may have missed it. That's the same thing he did on the last pitch.
Yeah. Reed Johnson is trying to bunt the ball while moving in the batter's box. He's being asked to sacrifice. You don't sacrifice while you're running. You sacrifice, you're giving yourself up. Big out right here if Arredondo can get him.
He got it.
Struck him out.
Well, I tell you,
that split finger right there is nasty.
well, Lord knows we watched a lot of bad baseball here in Cincinnati for a long, long time. Situations like this, it looked a lot like this. And it's hard to watch.
Well, if you can't execute the small part of the game, you're not going to win many ball games, especially late. You get down to 2 strikes against this guy, he's going to hurt you. He didn't have that many strikeouts in Los Angeles for nothing.
All right, now top of the order, Kosuke Fukudome, 0 for 3 in a game. And here's ball 1. Inning began with a walk to Soriano. Campana, young man from Springboro High, is in there running for him. And then Castillo tried to give himself up with a bunt, and it turned into a bunt hit. He's not missing by much, but it's 2-0.
And Hannigan, did you just put Hannigan in the game with the double switch? Okay, that's my fault.
The count on Fukudome. 2 on, 1 out. Came back with a fastball that swung on and fouled out of play.
And that's really the mantra on Arredondo. Hard fastballs, hard breaking balls in, and the split finger away, regardless of whether you're left-handed or right-handed. That's how he pitches.
Arredondo with a count of 2 balls and a strike. Runner at second. Campana very, very fast. Three and 1.
He's trying to get Fukudome to swing at that split-fingered fastball and roll over the top of it and possibly get a ground ball. Fukudome not biting thus far.
Well, you need a strike here. Make him earn his way on. Wow. A walk, a bunt hit, and a walk. And they are loaded with only 1 out. You know, these are the situations, and the Reds will get a visit to the mound from their pitching coach. You know, these are the situations, Cowboy, where you really so much miss Aroldis Chapman and what he had a capability of doing for this team. I'm not picking on Arredondo because he might have a great year. But when you're in the 7th inning and you have the lead or you have a tie game, right, all of a sudden that is a huge weapon that you no longer have disposal of anymore. I mean, Bray's a guy now you're going to bring in your only left-hander in the bullpen, and you're more than likely going to bring him in when you've got to face a left-hander. With Chapman, when he was throwing strikes, it didn't matter lefty or right.
And when you're winning every day, as this club has been, you can't expect Cordero to be closing 5 days in a row. You've got to have somebody like Massett, who most definitely Dusty is saving. That's why Arredondo is in the ball game right now.
And it's ball 1 to Darwin Barney. We get into the part of the lineup now where it's very tough to get a strikeout.
Well, the thing for Arredondo now, he's got to get a double play ball. He's got it out, and that's what he's got to hope for. Two 2-0. But first, he's got to find the strike zone. And this was not something that plagued him at all when he was down on his rehab. He was throwing strikes. But as we know, when they add the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th deck to the stadium, things tighten up a little bit.
Two and one on Darwin Barney. Barney is single to left, stolen a base, scored a run. He's bounced out to Votto and hit a ground ball to the shortstop, Paul Yanish, his last time up.
That last pitch was a solid pitch. Good fastball right on the outside corner.
2-1 to Barney. Throw a fastball right by him, and it's 2-2.
Not really sure that Barney picked this ball up at all. The ball comes out of the back of the head of Arredondo, and you could see Barney really pull off of it as he made the swing through it. Arredondo wants a split finger right here. He wants a strikeout.
2-2 pitch.
It is.
It's barely fouled away by Barney. We told you earlier, Barney extremely tough to strike out. Cubs have him loaded with 1 out in a 3-3 game here in the 7th inning. And they have him loaded without a single ball leaving the infield. Two again. His ball 3 high.
Looks like Andrusik that is getting loose down in the Reds pen.
Jordan Smith.
The Jordan Smith. Okay.
And 2 on Darwin Barney. This is where these hitters that rarely strike out, man, they are so tough for a guy to put away, especially a guy who struggles throwing strikes.
Wear you down, and they make you make a quality pitch each and every time. And as a pitcher, you can't have any lapse whatsoever of concentration.
And 2 again to Barney with the bases loaded and 1 out. And another foul ball out of play.
That's back-to-back pitchers' pitches right on the outside corner. But as you said, Tom, this guy doesn't strike out too much. It makes it difficult to get to him.
9th pitch in this at bat coming up. Cubs have runners at first, second, and third in a 3-3 game with 1 out. Arredondo a long look in to Ryan Hannigan. And again, the payoff pitch. He walks in a run. And that's going to do it for Arredondo. He faces 5 batters, walks 3 of them, including a bases loaded walk to give the Cubs a 4-3 lead. Skyline Chili call to the bullpen brings on Jordan Smith. Back in a moment. Around after the game for a big fireworks show. Cincinnati, they're calling it. A soundtrack that'll take you away to Margaritaville thanks to Jeff Weiler Automotive Family. 381-REDS or Reds.com for tickets. It's been a very ugly seventh. Leadoff walk, misplayed bunt for a hit. Got one out. Back-to-back walks. The Cubs have a one-run lead, and now Jordan Smith fresh up from the minor leagues when Aroldis Chapman was placed on the disabled list before the game yesterday. Check swing by Starlin Castro. It's fouled out of play, a strike. Jordan began the year with the Reds, pitched in 14 games, 17 innings, allowed 10 runs before he was optioned to Louisville when Homer Bailey came off the disabled list. Those numbers a little bit misleading with a big league club here. He really struggled the last 2 outings he was with a major league team. I mean, he's been a pretty dependable guy for this Reds team, considering they brought him all the way up from Double-A Carolina last year. He pitched well for this team.
He has. And he's been able to get the ground balls when he's needed it. And the 2 ball games that you're referring to just seem like he got ground ball after ground ball, and they were just in places that nobody was at.
Oh, and 2 on Castro with the bases loaded. Trouble here if it stays fair, and it does not. And a good thing, because Barney was already at third base.
That ball was a good 1.5 feet outside, and Starlin Castro was trying to take it down the right field line. So that ought to tell you where he's looking. Watch where this pitch ends up. I mean, it's cutting away and a foot outside and cutting away from you, and he's still going after it.
Talented kid.
No doubt about it. Got some tremendous hands with that bat. Nice and loose.
Tapper down to third. Rolling. Will step on the bag. He'll throw to first in time. And a huge double play. Well, you just said, Cowboy, this guy can get the double play. And what a big one right there. Cubs do get a run and lead by a run. Receive a free McDonald's extra value meal and get $3 off the price of admission during Ticket Tuesday. Right now, you can get a view level seat for the Reds Brewers series, plus that free McDonald's extra value meal for just $12 on our Ticket Tuesday night. Well, Tony Campana will stay in the game, and he'll play left field after running for Alfonso Soriano. And of course, he scored his first major league run. Out there smiling, and I'm sure a lot of family and friends from over and up in Springboro here to root him on. That hat looks like it's about 2 sizes too big on that young man, doesn't it? He doesn't care. He's in the big leagues.
That's right. You see, he's ready to go.
He's ready to go. So is this guy. What a year he's having. The left-hander Sean Marshall. There's a fly ball on the first pitch by Giannis. And he's an easy out. That'll bring up Joey Votto. This is one area where the Cubs feel like they have a real strength at the end of games. Their trio of the left-hander Marshall, the right-handed setup man Kerry Wood, now back in a Cub uniform, and of course their closer is Carlos Marmol.
And this guy here may be the best of all three. I mean, how many times have you seen him come on and face a left-hander that the Reds have had, and he puts him in the books? I mean, he is as tough of a lefty-on-lefty pitcher as I've seen in a long time, especially in big situations.
He's facing left-handed Joey Votto. Votto hitless tonight in 2 at-bats. Has drawn a walk. One and one to Votto. Oh my goodness. That right there is a curveball.
That's why I'm telling you, he is as tough as it gets. That's the MVP. Watch the spin around by Votto. It's going to hit. Oh man, that's called buckling a hitter. And that ain't no Louisiana breakdown either. That's a Louisiana get down. Oh my.
Well, why wouldn't you just keep on throwing it? Now he'll face Brandon Phillips with 2 outs and nobody on. Now it's your chance to enter to win a Fox Sports Ohio Meijer prize pack. Text the word Meijer, M-E-I-J-E-R, to 37664 now to be entered. We wish you good luck. And the winner is the chicken.
Well, now Marshall has got to face one of the better left-handed pitcher hitting right-handed hitters in the league. Hope I said that correctly.
You did. Been a good night for Brandon. Walked in the first inning, single to center, scored in the 4th, single to right in the 5th. Reds down a run here in the 7th. And it's 2-0 to Brandon Phillips.
You watch Brandon Phillips and you watch his body language, his eyes. He believes in his heart that he is going to crush the ball each and every time he comes to the plate.
3-0.
He does not give away pitches. He does not give away at bats. And I think that's what makes him such a difficult out for whoever is standing on the mound. I mean, you just saw a guy embarrass Joey Votto, and now he won't come close to the plate on Phillips.
Well, there's ball 4. Been a rough night so far for Jay Bruce, and that was against the right-hander Garza. Garza struck him out in the first inning, got him to foul out to the third baseman Ramirez in the 4th. And then he popped up to the shortstop Castro, ending the 5th.
Well, what do you do here if you're Jay after watching what he did to Bruce?
I give serious thoughts to bunting up the third base line here.
Did to Votto. I'm with you because they're playing that big shift out there. Ramirez is not even in the same area code as a bunt down the third baseline.
I mean, you don't need
put
to
a
drag
ball right anywhere in this area with a left-handed Marshall, you got a base hit.
I mean, if you push it anywhere, even on the right side, they're never going to throw you out. Straight away center field. This will be an out, and the inning is over. One man left. We played 7. Cubs lead 4-3. And a blast it was. The only mistake really Edinson Volquez made all night long. It came in the first inning, a 3-run home run by Carlos Pena. But Volquez threw the ball very, very well here tonight after that. Goes 6 innings for the first time since early April. Allowed only 3 hits in those 3 runs. He walked just 1 batter and struck out 9. But the Cubs are on top 4-3 as we begin the 8th. Aramis Ramirez, Carlos Pena, and Marlon Byrd against Jordan Smith, who came on with the bases loaded and 1 out and got Starlin Castro to end the inning on a double play. Ramirez been hit by a pitch, scored on the Pena home run, lined out to left center field on a real nice play by Fred Lewis, and is bounced to third. Arredondo right now the pitcher of record for the Reds. He faced 5 batters, walked 3 of them, and allowed a bunt hit. And really that bunt hit was a misplay defensively by the Reds. That should have been an out. And there's a 2-strike base hit into left field by Aramis Ramirez. When the Reds get it done with an RBI this year, that means another $25 from Shakely for the Reds Community Fund. Shakely, it's done.
That was a hanging split finger from Jordan Smith there. You can see him dig into the glove, and split finger comes out. If it doesn't go down, it's about as much as your fastball, and then you take about 4 miles an hour off of it, and it looks about as big as a beach ball coming in there. You got to get that thing down in the dirt.
Now the big shift put on Pena. who hit the 3-run home run in the first inning, has walked and bounced out to second base. Ball 1.
Smith had struggled so much with the breaking ball, he went to the split. He's always had that pitch. Good hard fastball, a good running fastball. But if you're going to throw something that's off speed, it has got to be down around the kneecaps or below. Much better pitch there. You could really even stand to take a little bit more off of it. It's one thing about first throwing a new breaking pitch. You got to figure out how hard it's going to be. You can see that funny spin on it, that little line in the middle of the baseball. That's what you're trying to get. You take a little bit more off of it than the 82 miles an hour, and that ball starts to drop sooner.
2-2 to Carlos Pena.
Now Jordan's got a decision to make. Do you throw another split finger and take a chance on missing a third consecutive time?
It's in the right field, and advancing on to second is Ramirez. Hard hit ball by Pena there, and that just ate Brandon Phillips up.
This baby's right in the heart of the plate, an off-speed pitch. And didn't do a whole lot other than come off the bat like a, well, like a rocket. If the Reds hold any chance or any hope of pulling this game out at the end, they can't afford any more runs here.
Well, they're not going to ask Marlon Byrd to try and put down a bunt. At least not on the first pitch. That's a big swing and a miss. He'll take a look down to Ivan De Jesus.
And the kid Campana is standing on deck.
Going to Marlon Byrd.
I think I'd throw that one again. He's missed it about 6 times tonight.
Byrd struck out swinging 3 times against Edinson Volquez. Brian Price on the horn. Down to the Reds bullpen. 2 on, nobody out.
Looks like Bill Brink.
Struck him out, and that is the 4th time that Marlon Byrd has gone down swinging tonight. It's the 3rd game he's had of 4 strikeouts in his major league career.
Well, you've got that hitting streak on your mind, and you've got pitchers out there that are not going to throw you a strike. And you're swinging at balls. Sometimes you just got to take a walk.
Well, now the first major league at bat for the young man who went to Springboro High School and the University of Cincinnati. Tony Campana came on as a pinch runner after the leadoff walk to Soriano in his 7th inning. Scored his first major league run, and now has his first major league hit and RBI.
And look at him run, my Lord.
How about that from the young man from Springboro? Has scored a run, as a hit in his first major league at bat, and an RBI to boot.
makes this kid turn it on. This is what they got him here for, because he can absolutely fly. And he's into second base about as fast as you can say right now. That's a smart approach to the plate. You don't know the pitcher. First fastball you get, you take a hack, and that's exactly what he did.
Of course, the Reds made the decision not, even though they had Bray, the left-hander, in the bullpen ready. We have a tough time to talk about it. They did not bring in a left-hander to face him. And he is a straight left-handed batter. Well, you got to feel good for the young man, not necessarily in this situation, but out of the University of Cincinnati just 3 years ago. 13th round draft choice, and man, has he stolen some bases in the minor leagues.
Three years, that's getting here in a hurry.
Infield in. 1-1 on Wellington Castillo. Reds bullpen has let him down here tonight, and those games have been few and far between. They bring Arredondo into a 3-3 game. He walks 3 batters, including a bases loaded walk. Jordan Smith got the big double play to end the 7th inning, but has allowed 3 hits, and so far 1 run in the 8th. Giannis will look to run her back. 2 out.
You know, Tom, who would have ever thought that Mike Quade would have taken Soriano out of the game and put the rookie in a pinch running situation? He ends up coming around to score the go-ahead run, and then he hits a bullet down the right field line to give him the insurance run. All in place of Soriano.
Well, now they're going to announce Blake DeWitt as a pinch hitter. DeWitt, like Campana, is a left-handed batter. And now Dusty's going to come get Smith and bring in the left-hander Bill Bray. So we'll take a break in the action. Another run for the Cubbies here in the 8th, and they lead by a pair. Last 2 innings. The run here in the 8th charge to Jordan Smith. There are runners at second and third. Blake DeWitt coming up, and on to face him out of the Reds bullpen, the lone standing left-hander in their bullpen is Bill Bray.
And Bray has only allowed 2 runs all year long, and they were both given up by the pitcher who came in after him. Bray has stranded 11 of the 12 inherited runners that he has inherited this year. And left-handers don't fare too well against Mr. Bray.
Well, the good news is Sean Marshall's out of the game. I mean, the bad news is you're facing Kerry Wood. Cubs get a run. Reds will bat. Bottom of the 8th inning. Trailing by a pair.
With Fox Sports Ohio for Reds Live, the place for the most comprehensive highlights of your Cincinnati Reds. Plus, hear from Dusty Baker and the stars of the game before anywhere else. That's Reds Live postgame, brought to you by Kings Honda and the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com.
All right, Reds down 2. Do they have a comeback in them tonight, Cowboy? We're about to find out. They're going up against Kerry Wood, who is back in a Cub uniform. And, of course, for him, that's where it all began originally.
Wood 1-2 on the year. This will be his 16th appearance out of the pen. And this is normally the 1-2-3 punch that Mike Quade uses at the end of the ball game. It's either Marshall or Wood in the 7th or the 8th, and then they bring on Carlos Marmol. And we saw Marmol last night. He can be as wild as a March hare, or he can put you down in 3 consecutive pitches.
Yeah, this game is not over yet. I mean, you're only down 2, and you got a couple more cracks at him. Not quite over yet. Rolen only 4 hits and 30 career at bats against Kerry Wood. There were so many of those in those matchups through the years between the Cardinals and the Cubs. And this one is shot into right center field, and that'll be a base hit. It'll go to the wall. So Rolen with a double, only his 5th career hit against Wood, and just like that, here comes a tying run.
Well, that's why we were talking about how important that extra run in the 8th inning was for the Cubs. Fastball leaves it up in the middle of the plate. Actually, that was a breaking ball that spins in the heart of the plate. Rolen just slaps it the other way.
How good has he looked since coming off the DL? Like 2 more hits tonight.
Like he was never on it.
On base 3 more times. Now Fred Lewis. He's 0 for 3 in the game. Ramos Ramirez is playing even with a bag at 3rd. The Reds are down 2 here. And it's fouled out of play, a strike.
Well, the worst case scenario here for Fred Lewis is he's got to get Rolen to 3rd base. I don't care if you bunt it, if you jump out in front of it, pull the ball to the right side, whatever it is.
Leadoff double here in the Reds' home half of the 8th inning, trailing by 2. One ball and one strike to Fred Lewis. Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Make it a home run weekend to visit the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. Book your next trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. 1-1 on Lewis. Jam shot roller just foul. That ball ate him up. Reds have Ryan Hannigan due up next. And then you get to the pitcher spot. Sitting down there in that bench, they've got Edgar Renteria, they have Chris Heisey, and they have Johnny Gomes. They do not have a single left-handed batter on their bench. Reds made the decision to activate Juan Francisco off the disabled list and then send him to the minor leagues. One hopper down to third, and Lewis feed it out.
That's big hustle right there by Lewis, because that was bang bang at the last second. Got a little airborne. You see how high the ball is, and immediately signaled fair ball, and he is safe. You got to go.
Billy Hatcher sliding all the way down the line to make that call. The Reds' first base coach. All right, now you have Hannigan.
Now you bunt.
You know, this is one of those calls. It's an interesting call, I think, because you have, without a doubt, your single best contact hitter on the team right here.
Right.
And with all the moving parts going on right now with the Chicago defense, it might be one guy you trust to think about doing something a little out of the ordinary. I don't know.
Look at Castro. He is standing at second base.
Thrown away all the way down the line. The game is tied and Hannigan's on his way to third. Can you believe it?
Actually, I can believe it. We talked about this earlier. Put the ball in play on the ground somewhere, and then let's see if the Cubs can make the play. They have now given away 5 runs to the Reds tonight. The throw goes all the way down the line. Not that it was that bad of a throw by Kerry Wood, but the third baseman, Aramis Ramirez, had stretched before the ball ever got there. You don't stretch until the ball gets there.
Well, this is unbelievable. Runner at third, and now to batter Chris Heisey. Cubs infield drawn in. We're tied at 5. Reds trying to get that go-ahead run from third here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody out. Wood likes to throw the fastball, and we know Heisey loves to hit the fastball.
Heisey likes that fastball middle in. That's the ball he likes to hit out of the ballpark. We have seen him do it time and time again. Right now, a fly ball would be just as good.
What do you think the way the Reds have scored in this game? Bases loaded, 2 outs back in the 4th inning. The pitcher at the plate, who did not have a hit all year long, he hits a soft one-hop line drive up the first base line that Pena commits an error on. They throw the ball in the camera well down near the Cub dugout, allowing 3 runs to score. And now the Reds will take the lead. Fly ball on the right, they're going to send Hannigan. The throw is not going to be in time, and the Reds lead 6-5. Safe at home is Ryan Hannigan, safe and secure in New York life.
about Chris Heisey. Another time he comes to the plate and just gets it done.
Sitting a long way from over.
That's the first out of the inning, and yet it's the go-ahead run.
I mean, you look at this inning, you get the double by Rowland, you get the infield hit by Lewis. You ask Canada to put down a bunt, he'd be the first to tell you there's a one-hopper down to third, and Ramirez will throw out Stubbs. I mean, Ryan will be the first to tell you that wasn't a good bunt. I mean, that's a play 99% of the time. A pitcher's going to field that ball and is going to get an out somewhere.
Right.
And it should have been an out at third. And the next thing you know, the ball's rolling down to the 328 sign in the left field corner, and guys are running all over the place.
But we've also seen a lot of times where the pitcher has to catch the ball with his back to third base, and in his excitement or anxiety or whatever you want to call it, to throw the ball to third as Giannis rips this one into left field. He overthrows the baseball. Giannis gets a fastball middle in. That's a ball he can handle all day long. Those fastballs he was swinging it up in the strike zone against Garza.
Miguel Cairo's still wearing that rally cap. Got that baby turned sideways down in the Reds dugout.
Keep wearing it. It's working.
No doubt about it. Cubs broke a 3-3 tie without hitting the ball out of the infield with a run in the seventh. They get a run in the eighth inning. First major league hit, first major league RBI by young Tommy Campana from the University of Cincinnati. They give him a 2-run lead.
We have had some goofy things happen in this game. How about the strikeout or the fake strikeout of Cairo?
Yeah. I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, and the Reds day in and day out are as good fundamentally as any team in baseball, and they're great defensively, but it has been one of the ugliest played games that I can remember in a long time. You agree?
I agree.
I mean, it's just been brutal.
But I think when you have a club like the Cubs that don't execute well offensively or defensively, this is the kind of game that you have to play, or that you end up playing. You play down to their level.
Well, as you speculated on earlier, Cowboy, Francisco Cordero has pitched 4 consecutive days, and they're not going to make it a 5th. Nick Massey is throwing in the Reds bullpen.
And that answers the question of folks asking why was Arredondo in the game early.
2-2 to Votto, who's hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. He has drawn a walk.
When you win as many games in consecutive fashion as the Reds have, you will use all 25 members of your ball club plus some. And the Reds have done exactly that. That's where that depth comes into play.
Two on Votto. Driven into right field. And this is up against the wall. Off to the races is Giannis. They're going to wave him around. They miss the cutoff man, and the run will score.
Another fundamental mistake on a cutoff and relay. One of the easiest things in the game to do, and it cost the Cubs another run. This ball is hammered down the right field line. And you watch as the right fielder gets to the baseball. The throw should hit the cutoff man, the second baseman. Castro is late getting there, number 1. He should have been in backup position behind Darwin Barney. He was not there. Barney lets the ball go through. Castro's not standing there. Fukudome comes up with the throw. The ball is over Darwin Barney's head. Where is Castro? He's supposed to be right there to back that throw up. He was not in position. Another fundamental mistake by the Cubs tonight.
We were talking about a Cub payroll, and I rarely ever bring money into the mix. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, you're looking at a club payroll in excess of $115, $120 million.
I'd be embarrassed.
And believe me, every time I start to say something like this about another team, because you don't like to talk about it, I always preface by saying, believe me, we watch the Reds play a lot of baseball games like the Cubs are playing tonight.
Just like this.
Yes, a lot of them for a long time. Cubs have made 4 errors in this game. 1 and 2 to Brandon Phillips. The 2 errors on the same play that allowed 3 runs to score with Volquez at the plate in the 4th inning. A throwing error by Kerry Wood in this inning, which allowed 2 runs to score, and the batter who bunted the ball to go to third. This ball's hit hard into right center field. Bird will get it, and the inning is over. But the Reds have come back again. They lead 7-5. Massett will try and close it in the 9th.
Quite a different way tonight, both in the outfield and along the base paths. That beat out of a base hit down the third baseline in the 8th inning, the second batter of the inning. That meant a whole lot to this ball club tonight. Nick Massett, the right-hander, is on. 23 2/3 innings, leads this bullpen of the Cincinnati Reds. Tied for 3rd in that category among National League relievers. This will be his 22nd ball game.
Massett had 2 saves for the Reds a year ago. He only has 3 total in his major league career. And with Francisco Cordero having pitched 4 consecutive days, 3 of which he earned saves, they'll give him a night off and hand it to Massett. Phillips, can he get him at first? Oh, a step late.
And here comes Dusty Baker. That was one heck of a play by Brandon Phillips. His momentum took him quite a bit further towards left field, I think, than he anticipated when he got to the baseball. Wow. I think he was out.
So bang bang play. Flucadome giving the infield hit. So, I mean, this is not going to come easy tonight for Massett. You're starting with the top of the order, and there are some dangerous hitters in this Cub lineup, and hitters that are not easy to put away.
And this is one of them right here.
Primarily one of them. This kid's a nice looking little player here now.
Well, I think as you look at some of the guys that are starting to come to the big leagues, and a lot of it started with Starlin Castro when he came up and did what he was able to do. The next guy you see is Darwin Barney, and now we're seeing the kid tonight.
Tapper, they'll get one, and that's all they're going to get. But 2 outs to go, and you're up 2.
Tony Campana coming in today. I think they would like for Tyler Colvin to do just a little bit more offensively from a power standpoint than what he was doing up here, because he was sent out today when Campana was brought to the big leagues.
It's just what a great night for Tony Campana.
Oh no!
I mean, what a great night.
I mean, if not for the fall apart there in the 8th inning, he's the hero of the game. Comes in with a pinch running, scoring a run in Soriano's place, and then he gets the bullet down the line that gives him the extra run for insurance.
You can only imagine, wide-eyed looking around here at Great American Ballpark. You know what must be going through his mind right now. Here it's a 2-run game, but he just found out he was called up to play in his hometown, make his major league debut, and boys, he made an impact in a very short amount of time. Pinch runner, scored a run. First pitch he saw in the big leagues, he bangs down the right field line for an RBI double.
I heard he was fast, but I didn't know he was that fast.
Check swing, should be the second out.
Phillips made an awfully wise decision right there, because Darwin Barney was hustling all the way. And he gets Castro at first. And that's really the thing that this Cub team lacks a little bit, Tom. If you look at it, it's not just the errors that you make, it's how you make them. And you see Darwin Barney there. I mean, he is hustling all the way to second base, but yet Castro was going about 3/4 speed down the line. And that comes from your veteran guys. It doesn't come from your young players.
All right, 2 away here in the 9th. And this will do it. The Reds have won their 5th in a row. And they do it again and come from behind fashion. Scoring 4 times in the bottom of the 8th inning, taking advantage of 4 Chicago Cub errors on the night. They are 5-0 on this homestand against the Cardinals. They sweep the Cubs, and 2 more to go against the Pirates beginning tomorrow night in a 7-5 final.
Great job by Volquez. He made one mistake tonight, and it was in the 1st inning, the 3-run home run to Pena. After that, I thought he was very aggressive in the strike zone. He used all 3 of his pitches, especially the curveball and the changeup, and that's what really got him over the hump. And I thought he threw the ball great for the rest of the way.
So the Reds push their season mark to 8 games over 500. That's the best it's been so far here in 2011. And a big exhale from Dusty, and why not? Massett the save, Smith the win, Wood the loss. We're back with more in a moment.